London, which is a social and urban history museum telling the story of the City of London and its people. Evaluation is a crucial tool for museums, both for understanding how our audiences utilise and respond to what we do, but also critically for understanding how and where to deploy our resources to maximum benefit. This afternoon we've got 4 speakers, Ludovico Solima, Soren Herman, Carmen Tejera, and Charles Calloway at the end. They're all going to speak in turn, and then we will leave questions for the end to make sure that we end on time, if that's okay. They're going to be taking us through some really interesting research on a number of aspects of the evaluation process, ranging from investigations into educational resources for art, through to user modelling and adaptivity. I'm going to hand over to Ludovico to start off with.
Okay, thank you, good evening. I'm presenting a project whose name is FIBAC. And, well, actually in Italian, FIBAC stands for Fruizione Innovativa, Beni Artistici, Culturali, which can be translated as innovative fruition experience of cultural heritage. And this project is an Italian research project co-funded by the Italian Ministry of Education, Industry and Research, and is conducted by Poste Italiane, University in Salerno, and some small and medium Italian enterprises. I teach in the Second University of Naples, and I've been involved in FIBAC projects by Poste Italiane as an external consultant, as I've been doing research activities on museums communication process, as well as on museums valorization activities over the last 15 years. First of all, let's start from the general aims of the project. The project, the FIBAC project, wants to set a technological system for the creation of museum and galleries personalized tools, and the delivering of customized information for the interpretation of artworks in a narrative structure. Such a technological system will have a double face, a web portal, and an application for smartphones and tablets. And I have to say that issue of narrative structure of the information that will be delivered in FIBAC is out of the topic of my presentation, although is one of the main efforts in the project. As for the issue of content delivering, in the framework of the project, we started our reflection considering that content delivering in museums can take place before, during, and after the visits. And from another point of view, content can be delivered offline and online. FIBAC project focuses in particular on the during the visit information on one side, and on the online information on the other side. I said in particular because, as already mentioned, the before and after the visit are phases that FIBAC will cover mainly through the web portal. Again, under a general perspective, we can observe that the task of content customization is usually interpreted in the museum sector in a very simple way, thanks, for example, to the design of different tools for different categories of visitors, like children, art history, beginners, etc. It must be observed that things are very different among museums and among countries. And in some cases, and I would say in Italy, for example, content designed for specific visitors' targets are indeed still quite rare. Considering all these aspects, the main question that the research group tried to answer was how to make information proposed to visitors more and more closer to their needs, expectations, and interests. Then, what are the tools we decided to use to face such an issue? First of all, first of all, we considered that visiting process, considering that visiting process is a function of three items: personal background, physical context, and a relational dimension. As for the first item, personal background, we design an accurate user model, planning to gather information about feedback users in two ways. The two ways are explicitly and tacitly. Among explicit information about users, we plan to have a registration procedure during which basic data will be collected. And besides, we will have more detailed information that users could edit in a My Profile section. For example, in My Profile section, users will be allowed to specify a range of interests or a self-evaluation about expertise in different subjects, etc. As for tacit information, we will gather them in different ways via social network accounts that could be used by users to enter in FIBAC system, and moreover through feedback use and visiting behaviors that will be tracked through the feedback system and through an indoor localization system that will be an important part of the whole project. I cannot now go in depth about the localization system. I just want to say that they will be based either on the Wi-Fi triangulations or on image recognition, on or QR code or RFID technology, according to the specificities of each museums. The second item having an important impact on visiting process is, as known, physical context. And we refer to physical settings, artworks on exhibition, and information available in the museums. It's something impacting deeply on the visiting process, already well known, so that's why I will not stop on this aspect. At least we have the relational dimension of the visits and of the visitors, of course, and which can be considered through the analysis of groups' behaviors. As a matter of fact, there are meaningful differences in visit experiences made in a family context, or in a school context, or in informational context of friends and relatives. And we all know how social interaction during a visit can change its nature in a very deep way. All these aspects produce an interindividual variety, that's to say, among different users, and an individual variability, considering, in other words, considering the same individual during the time in visitor behaviors. And this brought us to face contents customization issue through an innovative and dynamic approach. So, let's come to our idea. We are trying to make dynamic contents as a function of genetic algorithms and user ratings activities. For example, about authors, subjects, ages, materials, techniques, etc. As for the genetic algorithms, they will work on either explicit and tacit information, the ones that I've illustrated before. So the ones gathered during the registration phase, the edit of the profile, through social network and through the analysis of the behaviors of the users. And so on user information, on other users' information, basing on the behavior and needs of similar visitors, like Amazon does. And finally, on relation and connections among artworks in terms of authors, subjects, ages, etc. So, let's come to a conclusion. In order to propose a scheme of feedback delivering phases, we have, first of all, user registration made of basic information, besides information gathered through social network accounts. These lead to the proposition of a customized tour and related contents. The next step is the actual use and visiting behaviors in terms of, firstly, observation exhibit, because we know them thanks to the tracking of visitors. Secondly, in terms of exploited information, so which text has been read or which text has been skipped, in terms of listened audios or watched videos, etc. And thirdly, in terms of user rating on whatsoever topic. In conclusion, FIBAC system will be able to give an effective customized service through a real-time adaptation, both of tools, that's to say artworks proposed to the user, and of related contents, and hopefully help people in looking in the right direction. Thank you.